Listen to this report from Alpha News. Democratic Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, who is reportedly on the short list of possible running mates for Vice President Kamala Harris, raised eyebrows with comments he made during a campaign event for white dudes. That's what it was called, the campaign event for white dudes. On Monday, quote, "Don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness. Just do the damn work," Walz said during his appearance at a White Dudes for Harris virtual fundraiser. Yes, White Dudes for Harris. We have a clip from that? What, of her speaking or of Governor Walz? Really? Let's hear it. I didn't know we had one.
Don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness. Just do the damn work.
You're considered the most liberal United States senator.
We're not going to treat people who are undocumented across the border.
Okay, that was more of a series. I'm going to play that one, the series of clips of Kamala Harris. But that was Tim Walz saying what I just quoted. Now here's another quote from the governor of Minnesota. "Here's the great news. How often in 100 days do you get to change the trajectory of the world? How often in 100 days do you get to do something that's going to impact generations to come? And how often in the world do you make that bastard wake up afterwards and know that a black woman kicked his ass and sent him on the road?" This is quite a guy, eh? This is quite a remarkable man. Wow. I wanted to note what his comment. One person. Of course, he wouldn't say one man. Wash my mouth out with soap. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness. That's a beautiful thing. Now you know how the left-wing mind works. Socialism, that's just neighborliness. Yeah, that's right. The history of socialism is generally a history of mass murder. But I guess that's just, they got it wrong. It's really neighborliness. That's all it is. The government taking over your life, suspending civil rights like free speech, that's neighborliness. You folks in Minnesota voted for him. But look, in places like Minnesota, it's a race to the bottom. Minnesota, Illinois, Washington, Oregon, California. They're in a competition for who can self-destruct more quickly, more thoroughly. You know that's something that's something that guy's going to have to live with for the rest of his life, that a black woman kicked his A. Sophisticated man. As Governor Alpha News notes, Walz presided over Minnesota's historic, quote-unquote, 2023 legislative session when his DFL, that's the Democratic Party's name, party took full control of state government. Wow, like California. This saw the passage of a progressive wish list of legislation, including a 40% increase in government spending. Well, it's good to know that Minnesota is that much in the black with surplus that it can raise public spending by 40%. But that's what they do, and that's how they get elected. Who wants to bite the hand that feeds them? Or the fan that heeds them? Either one. Yep, don't bite that fan. That's what they do. They buy votes. The left has done that all of its history. Vote for us. will give you goodies. Providing driver's licenses and health care to illegal immigrants. Well, and declaring Minnesota a refuge for children seeking sex changes and more. That little snippet from him that I played and that I quoted answers the question of how do leftists sleep well at night. They really believe they're doing good. The amount of evil done by people who believe they're doing good is much greater than the amount of evil done by people who believe they're doing evil. Just remember that. That's why intentions in such matters mean nothing, absolutely nothing. If I know a person means well, I know nothing about the person. Nothing. If I know somebody believes in God, I know nothing about that person. Yeah. I want to know specifically what you do, and I want to know specifically what your values are. Do you value liberty or do you value big government? They are mutually exclusive. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said Saturday that $3 trillion in new capital is required each year to combat climate change. That's hard to believe. This is from Politico. $3 trillion a year? That's $3,000 billion. To combat climate change. And it won't work. I mean, that's the irony. But that's beside the point. $3 trillion a year. We have the greatest amount of debt in American history. Somebody's going to have to pay. By and large, many of those people who will pay are the ones who vote for Democrats. And they probably will never blame themselves for it. For the full episode of The Dennis Prager Show, go to pragertopia.com, sign up, and become a full member.